रूहानी जस्तजू के दूसरे एपिसोड में सारे श्रोतागणों का प्यारी साथ संगत का स्वागत है। गुरुजी के श्री चरणों में कोटि कोटि प्रणाम। I feverishly seek his validation as we continue to embark upon this journey of exploring the spoken and the unspoken teachings that we gathered while Sahib was in his chola. If amongst billions of people, I feel like if Maharaj chose our soul to be able to sit face to face with him, to be around him, just to watch him in action, then I do believe that it becomes our moral duty to spread that. And yes, I will reinforce that the goal is never to connect people to us. Just because we are sharing, agar hum Guruji ka bakhan, gungan kar rahe hain, that doesn't mean that we become any better than anyone else. In fact, the focus is and has to remain Guru Sahib. And we are here together just trying to truly spread his noor. The intent behind this remains to help elevate each other on this unending spiritual quest. So, with that in mind, once again, it is my pleasure to continue the guftagu with our dear Bamby Singh auntie. Auntie, welcome.
Thank you, Jai Guruji. And
Jai.
very well said. This is all for Guru Sahib. We will come and go, but Guru Sahib's teaching should always be alive and available to whoever he decides to bless. And
Absolutely.
thank you for having me on the show once again.
How are you today, auntie?
I'm good. Guruji's grace. How are you?
Good, good, good. His kripa. And like you beautifully said last time in the previous episode as well, that we represent, I think, less than 1% of the population today. So like I said in our introduction as well, I think it becomes very, very important to recognize that and understand the responsibility actually that comes with it. And keeping that in mind, I know that in episode 1, we talked about our first impressions. We talked about our moments of learning. And in the same tone, I want to continue that dialogue with you. And this time, auntie, we're better prepared with a cup of chai. जैसे महाराज ने बोला था कि मेरे बारे में बात करते हो तो एक दूसरे के साथ बैठो, चाय बनाओ और फिर
मेरे बारे में बात करो.
Exactly. तो हमारे previous episode में, I think the way we concluded was when you were sharing about the sermon that Maharaj did with both you and Sati uncle. So I would like to pick up from where we left off. Those sermon mein, auntie, is there anything else that comes to your mind that you would want to share with us? And there are other couple topics that I do want to dive into around, karma maybe, and some of the things that are happening today as a ritual, as a practice that you feel have become bothersome or as we are doing those things mindlessly, we may be deviating from Guru Sahib's path. So those are some of the concepts I want to uncover with you today. So why don't we start from where we left off, and sermon जो आपके साथ महाराज ने almost 1 घंटे का किया था, उसमें कुछ और ऐसी चीजें हैं जिसके बारे में आज आप खुलासा करना चाहेंगे आंटी?
The kind of topics that you wish to cover are actually all add up to one. All different topics, they add up to one thing. And that came in the sermon that when I told you about, which was a 1-hour sermon. And so Guru Sahib Ji, when initially Guru Sahib Ji started talking, he talked of how we choose whatever karma we want, what lessons we have to learn, what we should do, what we should not do, what we have planned, what karma, whose karma to finish, and things like that. And in the process, he said that the karmic cycle is very difficult to understand. See, Guruji as such has never given sermons. These are all experiences. These are all evaluations made. But this was definite. This was like, okay, it is from Guruji's mouth. It is his satsang that Sahib shared. And Guruji said, that karma is very difficult to finish in one lifetime. We have done so much, and every lifetime we are like a rolling stone that gathers moss. Okay, there's something or the other we end up doing wrong. Can they see? Mere naal karma, I will keep it very simple. So Sahib said that you are here to owe somebody, you are here to give somebody, and most of all, you are here to learn. Okay. What lesson has to be learned is decided with you before you come to earth. You sit with the divine and you say, okay, this is what I have to learn. This is what my soul needs to learn. And these actions, whether they are taking or giving or doing or anything of karma, will happen, which will ultimately lead to the soul progressing. So Guruji is actually all about the soul. Everything else is a carrot, completely. It's a camouflage. And one has to understand whatever Guruji will do will always lead towards the soul. And Guruji used to say that when you make these deals, he never said deals, but he said, "Eh, tusi promise karke aande ho." Okay. So for me, in my mind, what I understood is it is actually like a contract. Your marriage is a contract. Your children are a contract. Whoever you deal with is no coincidence, but a contract. So Guruji said, जो भी तुसी रब दे कोलो लिख के आंदे हो ना, you are supposed to fulfill it. You're supposed to do it, whether it takes you 1 lifetime or 10 lifetimes. Okay. If it's not this lifetime, then the next, and the next, and the next. So I'll give an example of my sister. My sister, now two very lovely individuals get together when they're getting married. Okay. And those lovely individuals don't necessarily have to be good to each other, because there's a karmic imbalance between them. So one will be bitter, one will be all right, one will be rude, the other one will be bitter, or they will compromise and they will get along with each other. My sister and her husband could not get along with each other. And whenever she would come to India, she was living in the US. Whenever she would come to India, she would say, Guruji, can I separate from him? Can I divorce him? Can I divorce him? Guruji said, no, no, no. And Guruji was in Panchkula, I remember. And it was in the afternoon. And Gigi went up to Guruji and said, I can't take it anymore. It's a very abusive relationship between the husband and the mother. And I need to get out of it. And I need to take care of my child. So Sahib said to her that, tolerate it, go through it. Because in this lifetime, I'm there for you. She says, no, I'll do it next lifetime. So Sahib said, next lifetime, I'll see whether I want to help you out with it or not. Okay. So Guruji used to say, when we make these promises to the divine, we are very kango. We chew more than we can really eat, or bite more than we can eat. And but once we come into the world, that is when, Maya ki hawa lagti hai, so to speak. That is when we start with the desire, whether it's mother's milk or whatever, it's a desire. Guruji said, pehla desire hunda hai, ki mainu eh chahiye hai, mainu eh chahiye hai, mainu eh chahiye hai. ਉਹ desire ਨੂੰ complete ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਦਾ ਅਹੰਕਾਰ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹ desire ਨੂੰ complete ਕਰਾਂ. तो ਉਹ desire complete ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ as you grow up, okay, as you grow up, you experience that desire more and more, and you feel that urge more and more. And ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਬੰਦਾ ਬੜਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, it all depends on his innate nature, his क्या कहते हैं, his ancestry, what is the karma coming through his ancestors, his upbringing, and his strength of character. All these things matter as to how far a person will push and how far a person will go to get what they desire. Then Sahib said, and then he said, you all have chosen such huge karmas. तुमने अपने आप को hero नहीं समझा है. That's what he said to us, okay? That you will do this and you will do that. He says, no. He says, I will have to hold you like this and take you through these karmas because you won't last through it. They are so heavy that you will not be able to last through it. And remember that I am with you through all these karmas. So this is what the gist was of at that time. Take care.
I have met your brother-in-law, your ex-brother-in-law, by the way, a couple times in the temple here. And one time when I went to Bade Mandir with my new husband, I ran into your ex-brother-in-law with his new wife. And I was like, okay, Guruji.
Yeah, he's a lovely person. If I talk to him today, he's lovely.
Yeah.
There's the karmic imbalance between them, which causes them not to be cordial with each other. But these are...
I don't want that with anybody.
Yes.
At all. And I don't know, Auntie, if sometimes we just use this concept of karma as a cop-out. You know, जो हमें theory समझ नहीं आती, जो बात हमें समझ नहीं आती, we chalk it up to karma and we just sweep it under the rug. You know, for example, and yes, it's a loaded concept, right? And it's hard to grasp when you try to apply your logical mind to things. For example, a little kid being born with a terminal disease and you feel sorry instantly that, you know, is bachche ka kya kasoor hai? This kid has come with suffering, not just for that soul, but all the souls around that baby.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And when we can't compute anything in our so-called logical brain, we say, you know, karam yoga, karma. And that's why this has become such a difficult topic to sort of embrace, though it's a very important one. And then when you read, say, like books from somebody like a Kulwant Singh, who says, "Ki this is complete nonsense. We are like a $100 bill. Jisko aag lagao to khatam. That's it. What are you talking about before and after that?" And then we look at Guru Sahib and we look at our sort of holy books that talk about this concept of, you know, janam lena, marna, prior lifetimes, etc. And you believe because you look at Guruji as the single source of truth. At least that's how my heart and mind operates.
Truly, yes.
When I came into his fold, I necessarily did not believe in any concept of, for example, black magic. I thought it was all complete baloney. But when I saw Guru Sahib talk about it, and when I was like, okay, if he's saying it, there's no if and but, and it's true.
True.
But again, how does our mind sort of grasp this, that somebody's evil powers, say of Jadoo Tona and black magic, is more prevalent or more havi over the grace of God? अगर गुरु है, अंग संग है, भगवान है, तो उसकी protection भी तो है ना? Then why do we go through this?
Tell me something. We all read in the Shiv Puran how we all are made. Mm-hmm. And if Shivji had made us, we would be all perfect beings. So why is there child molestation? Why is there rape? Why is there every kind of evil?
Yes.
Why is there? Okay, you have chosen. Okay, let's say once Guruji said, I've given you a gift, told me. I said, what gift, Guruji? He said, Dekhi chal. And then I started dreaming of being gang raped by 7 people. And I would get up in the middle of the night and say, Sadi, I do not understand, is something going to happen? Or has something happened in the past? But I can see my face and I can see the faces of these people. And that week, Guruji, we met after a week. Yes, we met Guru Sahib after a week. And I was in a mess because every time I would sleep, I would see this. So then when I got a chance, I went to Guruji and I said, Guruji, I'm very disturbed. Badi ajeeb sapne aa rahe hain. And I'm one person who doesn't get sapnas.
Right.
And बहुत अजीब सपने आ रहे हैं कि क्या है? कहते हाँ मैं तेनू गिफ्ट देना. I said, I was totally zapped. I thought maybe this was something that's going to happen in the future. And so it was happening in my dream and Guruji was cartoing it.
Mm-hmm.
And Sahib said, no, I have opened up 5 lives of yours. 5 lives. I went through different things, different pains, not happiness. Every life showed me pains. And that made me realize, that made me ask him that why are so many things happening in the world which shouldn't be happening? And Guruji said, not all form of humans are humans, but they are Shaktis that are there to do certain actions so that you have asked for certain experiences, so that you go through the certain experiences and you become the person you have to become. Okay, now this is like a crazy idea.
Mm-hmm.
It is not logical. I mean, the person standing in front of me is definitely a human being.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you can bash the person up and it's a human being. But this is a matrix we live in.
Mm.
And the matrix can create whatever the divine wants to create. It seems like that. That is what I understood. Okay. So whatever it takes, Hanji.
No, finish your thought. Sorry.
So whatever it takes for us to finish our soul journey is what Guruji is going to do.
Yeah, and I remember this firsthand that Sahib had said कि घर घर में स्ट्रेस की, डिवोर्स की, कैंसर की बारिश होएगी.
True.
What was he alluding to?
Okay, now the other part of the conversation that had taken place was that Guruji said, Mango nahi mano. Guruji said to us that do not ask, but whatever I give you, take it. He said, Aaj banda depression which hai, is not motivated, is going under tremendous tension because the desire is not fulfilled. I want to have this. I want to be this. I do not have this. So and so said this about me. Okay, now Aisha was telling me of this place. I think it was on Instagram, which she saw a reel in which a girl says that she lives in one of the Scandinavian countries. And she said that I was very happy with the ordinary bag, which I used, which was for use. Okay, so I chose any bag that I could carry that would be the right for the purpose. Says, but I shifted to Korea, which is a very consumer-based society. And there now I suddenly feel I have a desire to buy, or the pressure to buy a Louis Vuitton or a Chanel, because the whole society is such.
Right, yeah.
So practicality, desire. Guruji said, time बड़ा मुश्किल time है. कलयुग which बंदा अपने कर्म खत्म नहीं कर सकता until you have your Guru's blessings. ठीक है? And so the more we desire is the more we are going to end up creating barriers for ourselves, pain for ourselves. And it's not that we don't desire. Everybody desires, okay? But it's just that it might not be the right time. It might not be what would facilitate your path. It might be not what Sahib has promised or the divine has promised you. And so we get frustrated. Have you seen the children nowadays, how frustrated they get?
Mm-hmm.
How they internalize things and how they crucify themselves. Why would you crucify yourself? Okay.
Working as designed.
No, it is, you have to learn to love your guru and trust. We all don't have trust with him. You have to learn to trust your Guru Sahib so that whatever he says or whatever path he's putting you through, you have the patience to go through it. And you will, he will come through. That much I can promise you. For each and everyone, there's no favorites. We all are mouthpieces today, but promise you, there are no favorites. Each one is important to
Oh,
Sahib.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Say,
We're all
"Saare mere bachche ne."
We're all eggs. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that is why, to the extent, once Guruji went with Rashmi auntie and Pankaj uncle to see the
Mhm.
Taj Mahal. Do you remember?
I remember the couple very well.
Very well. Yeah, they went with Guruji.
Uh,
Ved Prakash was our driver then, and
yes. Oh, I
he was,
remember yeah, very well.
yes, and he was driving Guruji in Guruji's Merc at that time, and like all, and they were going to see the Taj Mahal. And why they were going to the Taj Mahal? क्योंकि मुमताज महल शाहजहां की बीवी को 300 साल बाद मुक्ति मिली है. So Guruji was going to celebrate. Okay. So last minute Guruji sends the hukum, like always last minute. Menu na वो basket बना के दे, picnic basket बना के दो. So I couldn't get one from anywhere. So we sat and stitched and put silver ke bartan and everything, packed it up for Guruji because he was going there to celebrate, to have a picnic, to enjoy, to see the release of Mumtaz Mahal after 300 years. I mean, come on, guys. If you have somebody so divine who's ready to look after you and make you cross this path, then why not trust him just this one lifetime and get over with whatever rubbish you have to go through? Just walk through all the thorns with him.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
300
I
years.
agree. People look for big satsangs. And I've always said this, Auntie. To me, my biggest satsang is the amount of faith that he has bakshod. I've got no credit to take here. It's not mera vishwas. Mera vishwas bhi unki kripa se aata hai. And I said it, I know even in the first episode that while we all recognize that trust is very important, we don't have an equal amount of it. And that's also by his design. And he knows best कि कितना इंजेक्शन कितना डोज किसको कब क्यों देना है और हमारी इफ एंड बट भी गुरुजी आप ही ले लो because we as human beings I think we are very deeply plagued with the if and the but and the tricks that our mind continues to play on us regardless of we all say oh हम इस टाइम से जुड़े और इतने साल हो गए it's just meaningless.
It's irrelevant. It's
It is
irrelevant if you don't believe in him. It's irrelevant if you're not open to him. Because Guru Sahib Ji said, I bless each one equally. Jinna mainu khicho, unai mein twade ko naal. That means the amount you trust is the amount you're going to get. And trust is not an easy straight road. It is a very thorn-filled, up and down road where you have to learn. And Guruji just very rightly puts us through the thorns so that we know, okay, we will be all right. He will pull us out. He will pull us out of this. He will pull us out of that. The Sahib is there for us. देखो अभी दुनिया में क्या क्या हो रहा है? There's earthquakes and there's look at the Iceland volcanoes, everything. Okay, somebody who's stuck in between all of them. Are why go so far? Let's say in Delhi, Guruji has said that Delhi is built on dried riverbeds. Means the hollow of the riverbed, and this is the land on top, and Delhi is built on that. So the day Delhi has a very bad earthquake, this is going to break, and we are going to be in riverbeds that are hollow. Okay, so the whole of South Delhi will disappear. I don't know when it will happen. That is Guru Sahib Ji's telling us about the future. At such a time, if you are not completely connected, if you are not completely in faith with your Sahib, you won't know where to run, where to go, what instinct of yours to believe. It's hard times for our children coming up. They need to have more faith in Sahib than ever.
Yeah, and I don't know, right or wrong. I do believe that that cannot happen without his grace. And yes, it's like you said, it's a two-way street. We also have responsibility to be open to receive it. But in this scenario, I just feel that Sahib has a bigger role to play.
Oh,
Because
100%.
we're just his puppets, and he's the puppeteer. And while we are all equal, I think I tend to agree more with something that you said last time, that no two people, even if you come together, to me at the same time, in the same car, same day, are equal to me.
Yeah.
So it's
True.
that this is also nuanced.
Yes, that is because each one's devotion is separate.
Yeah. So I wanna get your perspective on this. So based on all the treasured moments that you spent with Sahib, what do you think Sahib expects from us?
I think it's very simple. The answer is very simple. Like Guru Sahib Ji said, we are his children. And what would you expect from your child? True love. Just as simple as that.
I love it. I love it.
True unconditional love. Now I add the word unconditional and it goes for a spin.
Yeah. Unconditional, and then when you add blind next to faith.
No, we'll just keep it till unconditional. And then you start singing true love. Yes, I truly love Guruji. Yes, from my heart. Unconditional Guruji. That means it was like when we met Guruji in the beginning. Of course, I didn't believe that he could do anything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was like, okay, medical things can be done. Like,
Yeah.
then it was like, okay, if he can repair cars and all, he can really do a lot of things. Then the list started of what I wanted. Ki Guruji, ye bhi Guruji, wo bhi, Then now that I know that Guruji can do, let me get my list ready with what all. But it was always about me wanting. I never asked him, what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
So unconditional is the difficult part of it.
Oh yeah, because everything is conditional.
हाँ
थप्पड़ पड़ता है ना, पड़ता है कि नहीं पड़ता?
बहुत सारे बहुत सारे
हिंदुस्तानियों के बच्चों को तो थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा.
It's like Aisha says to me, Mama, your Guruji is very strict. Our Guruji is more loving. And Charur, my Guruji will be very strict, I know.
Yeah.
छोटे बच्चे के साथ स्ट्रिक्ट रहना पड़ता है, अच्छे बच्चों के साथ आराम से रहना पड़ता है. तो ठीक है.
That is true. That is true.
हर एक की परवरिश अलग है.
बैसाखी, लास्ट बैसाखी जो गुरुजी के साथ थी, that was 18 years ago. कुछ memories याद है आंटी आपको? Anything about Baisakhi specifically that comes to mind?
I was not allowed to be there for Baisakhi. Guruji sent the choice of chola color that he wanted. And as always, it was yellow. He wanted it a bit heavier. And the scarf had to be a certain way. And Sahib just said that, I mean, it was a rule. It was an unsaid rule that the moment I hear, unsaid though nahi, the first time Guru Sahib ji ne message bheja tha कि as soon as my car horn starts, siren starts, Bamby should step out of the mandir. As soon as I put my foot in the mandir, Bamby should be out of the mandir. So for me,
Yeah.
He was
My
like,
God.
"Yeah, the function. That's it. I did
Yeah.
decorated the mandirs, did the cholas, did everything, organized everything, and walked away as soon as the siren started.
Wow.
That was
Wow.
just,
Mhm.
in fact, I had to run a couple of times because I could hear the siren. And Ramutar Mali would say, "Mao, Guruji ka siren shuru ho gaya, madam, bhago." And then whichever bag of mine was lying, either udhar se uthao, bhago, bhago, and he'll be running behind me, and I'll be running ahead. Oh shit, man, I have to run. Let me just run, get out of here. Uh,
Yeah.
it hurt the first few times, not after that. After that, it became a way of life.
Right. Yeah, and I remember that all Guruji ke cholas, at least from where I used to see things, used to come via you. मेरे को इसलिए याद है because पूजा की शादी के लिए भी और मेरी शादी के लिए भी जो गुरुजी को चोले बनाकर दिए थे, that came from you, auntie. I don't know if you remember or not, but मुझे याद है.
They did. I remember.
Yeah,
In fact,
you picked the colors. Yeah, sorry, finish your thought.
the function that your father organized for the army people,
Right, Claire Farms.
Claire Farms, yes. Oh, he hated the chola. He did not like it at all. But I think he wore it because there was cut work on it. And both my girls and I sat and cut because we were running late. So we were busy trying to cut the cholas, ka patiyan and all. And when it came there, Guruji told us that sona nahi hai. I mean, he had a choice of so many other cholas he could have worn, but he wore that. And
Yeah.
yeah, he didn't like that one. So, yeah. I have to
मेरे
tell
को
you,
अपनी शादी के टाइम का याद है. I think it was blue. You did something in
yeah, it
blue?
was a bluish purple. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was bluish purple with uh, maple leaf kind of a design on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You know, he said something about the cholas once. I said, Guruji, इतने सारे चोलों के साथ आप क्या करोगे? तो कहते ने देखी चल मेरी चोलियां दे नाल की होता है. I said, अच्छा आप तो दे देते हो सबको. कहते ने ना मेरे चोले लखां विच बिकनगे. That people will sell my cholas for
Oh
lakhs.
my God, he said that?
Yeah, he said that. Then Sahib said कि देखिए चल मेरा सब कुछ बिकेगा. And I said सब कुछ क्या होता है? I thought जुतियां and specs and but he just looked at me and went, you know, that knowing look. So I do not know what else people have of Guruji's that is going to get sold. But Guruji said,
Oh yeah, we're witnessing it today.
what all? Yes, yes.
From fans to flashlights to pen drives to everything.
Everything. He said, मेरा सब कुछ बिकेगा. मैं कहा ठीक. I was very fascinated. And I, you know, for us to get a chola, it was such a big thing. Huge thing. And when if you got jode, it was a huge thing. And so I couldn't imagine anybody wanting to part with a joda or part with a chola or even
Oh my God, take my life, but don't ask me for that.
in, you know, or anything Guru Sahib Ji has given you, even little rumal. I mean, anything.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine anybody wanting to sell it. So it's then everybody goes through different experiences.
Yeah.
I can't judge.
Oh yeah, no judgment is something that we need to learn. Absolutely. Hard.
Yeah, one day, no?
The first thing that happens is judgment hoti hai, uske baad that realization kicks in that no judgment. That's how it is.
It happens now. Something happens, and I say, "Oh God, gee, I don't like this." Or I would love for this to happen, and then I go, "No. Okay. Whatever Guruji wants, whatever Guruji wants." So it's a learning curve. I also have to tell myself, no, back off.
Yeah.
Let's I do it instead of asking. Oh yeah, at one time I remember Guruji says, "तुलसी लोगों ਨੂੰ ਮੰਗਣਾ नहीं आता." ठीक है? And there was this, I think BlackBerry उस time था और BlackBerry में ये message चल रहा था. And I read it out to Guruji, or I don't know how, I don't remember exactly how, that there is this there's this very religious old lady, and she's praying, and then the Lord comes to her and she says, He says, ask, you get one wish, you ask whatever you want. And she says, I see myself sitting in a huge courtyard on a chandi ka bed, going in a chandi ka bartan, with sindoor in my white hair, watching my grandson play in the courtyard, and my husband walking in with something, something, something. Okay, how smart. She asked for her life to be long, her husband's life to be long, sitting on a silver bed, wealth, big courtyard, wealth, grandson, progression, generation. And Guruji says, इसनु मंगना आंदा है. So मंगने का कुछ तरीका होता है, मतलब रब से मांगो तो you should know how to मांगो. A lot of manipulation.
I would just ask for Guruji. Guruji, आप मेरे अंग संग रहो, and that's it. Everything, the silver, chandi, wandi, all comes with that. मेरा तो इतनी अकल ही ना चले.
Aarti,
And I would ask for a granddaughter for progression. That's me. That's my mind. Daughter and granddaughter.
good कहते थे ना, सच्ची चीज मंगो, असली चीज कोई नहीं मांगता.
True.
So
Didn't he also say कि कर्मा वालियां नु कुड़ियां देंदा मुंडिया मुंडे तो
yes कि मैं बड़े सोच की कुड़ियां देंदा, मैं मुंडे तो किसी नु भी दे दिया कुड़ियां. So one day Guruji, Jaggi uncle, Rimple's husband, says, Bamby, गुरु से पूछना. मैं कहा मैं नहीं पूछती, हर दफा मेरे को जूती पड़ती है, मैं तो नहीं पूछने वाली. ऐसे करके कहते पूछना. तो गुरुजी कहते की गल है कि I looked at Jaggi, मैं फंस गई. अब गुरुजी ने कुछ कह देना, क्योंकि उससे पहले हुआ था कि मैंने पूछा संत लोग क्या खाते हैं. I was put on a fast. So this time I said I didn't know, I don't want to ask. पता नहीं क्या मेरे को मुसीबत, मैं फंस जाऊंगी. तो कहते ने ਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ मैंने कहा गुरु तुसी वो असली चीज कहते हो कि असली चीज की होती है. ओके, सो आई न्यू दैट लिंडा आंटी को उन्होंने बोला था पीस, किसी और को उन्होंने बोला था गुरु दा प्रेम. सो आई डोंट नो व्हाट वाज कमिंग टू मी. सो कहते ने असली चीज होती है गरीबी. सो आई स्टार्टेड लाफिंग. ऐसे गरीबी, आपसे गरीबी कौन मांगेगा. कहते नहीं, असली चीज वही होती है, उस ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ आत्मा बड़ी your soul progresses, because only in poverty do you value humans and as humans, and you have a sense of duty and responsibility, and you're not that bigda hua person who has no motivation in life because you have all the money and you think of everybody as shit. And I just looked at him and I said, shit, man, I have asked for Guruji so many times. I am truly okay. And then it happened. Then it happened. He took away everything. There was a time in our lives where if we had $500 for the day, we would say, wow, thank you, Guruji, we have $500 for the day. I did not just have 4 of us, I had 4 dogs also. So we were like 2 huge families living in that $500. He took away every bit of it. You cannot imagine. To teach us. And it was, you really actually become alive from inside. Your expectations, your way of thinking, your values, your sensibility changes. It's not that I'm not an angry woman. I still scream and yell like a mad woman when the time comes.
We all do.
Yeah. But I know that today I can do any job possible. Okay. Like Guruji, when we had, at that time, Guruji used to make me clean up the bathrooms in the mandir. Everything he used to make me do. When I had to do so. So I had to learn everything. And not only me, my whole family had to learn. All of us had to learn everything. So whoever is asking for Guruji, be warned. If you're not ready to go through the grind, ask for the golds and silvers is easier.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. I agree. And it's scary because I think while there is this quest, this insatiable hunger to sort of learn and evolve, I think there's also, I don't know if fear is the right word, but वो डर नहीं होता कि गुरुजी प्यार से सिखा देना, थप्पड़ मार के मत सिखाना, अगर थप्पड़ मारो भी तो ज्यादा जोर की मत मारना.
वो तो मेरा डायलॉग है, और वो डायलॉग का कोई असर नहीं होता. अब गुस्से के लिए भी बोलती है ना, गुरुजी प्यार से सिखाना, थप्पड़ मार के मत सिखाना. So everybody around me is so mitha, so mitha, so mitha, Aarti. And even the friends that I have, will talk itne pyar se. My master ji will talk itne pyar se, and I have to look at them and go, good Lord, I have to bloody straighten somehow. So I go through my cycle of and okay, shut up, cool down, cool down, cool down. What to do? This is how he's teaching me now.
Yeah.
That is the pyar se. I wish I'd known that. I mean, I have said that dialogue forever, but I think whichever way Guruji decides is the way your soul is going to progress. It's the way he's going to do, whether it's danda or pyar. But it is scary. But it is like one day I stood in front of Guru Nanak, Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and said, "Couldn't you find a better guru for me who loved me a bit more than Guru Sahib Ji? You know, because I can't take this shit anymore. I mean, I'm going through it. I can't. It's like I'm
Yeah.
done."
Yeah.
And then, I mean, people dismiss it, but then Guru Sahib Ji will show me his akar, his Oms and his Ekomkar. People dismiss it. People think that you should not look in a roti for Om. You should not look in the. I mean, you have a hard day. You come back home. You say, okay, let me have a glass of chai. And you look down and you see your Om. What will you feel? You will feel loved. You will feel
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a time when everybody could see Guruji in the moon. I could not see.
Mm.
I would see somebody else. I wouldn't see Guruji in the moon. I
Mm.
didn't have the eyes for it.
Yeah.
So everybody else was blessed. So why would you dismiss? There's no coincidences. So if you are getting your Oms and your Ekumkars, actually,
Yeah, but I would not say that everybody else was blessed. I think you were blessed in not seeing it because that's how he wanted it.
I saw Sai Baba. I did not see Guruji. I did
Okay.
not see Sai Baba. I wanted to see Guruji. So I was not, I mean, I'm sorry, Sai Baba, but I wanted to see Guruji.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it was like, no. But then
Yeah.
we have this honey coming and everything coming nowadays. And people saying, oh, yes, Amrit is coming out of the walls and this is happening and that is happening. But they don't realize, and I'm not going to tell the whole thing because this is something whoever tastes should know. When we used to have Guruji's prasad, the divine prasad, and this has to be divine if you've got honey coming out and Amrit coming out of your walls, it has to be one of the 9 khushbus of Guruji.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to taste not like Dabur ka honey, which we've all lived on all our lives, especially being in the army. But it has a divine khushbu that gets, when you put it in, it gets stuck here. Then it gets stuck here, and then it gets stuck here. And then there's a different feeling, complete feeling that you get when it goes inside. Okay. So if you're tasting, and if it's not doing any of this, it is not. Because every time we had divine prasad, this thing was the same. You know, we all have had so much Amrit Prasad in the beginning when Guru Sahib Ji and S Block used to bless, that it was the same thing. तुम्हारा मुंह आंखें सब कुछ भर जाता है खुशबू के साथ. It's like that.
Mm-hmm.
If that is not happening, if you go to somebody's house and that is not happening, just turn away and run out. It is not. It is not. This is the same as before. This is one thing that doesn't change. And Guru Sahib Ji said, Mishri da Prasad, क्या कहते हैं, honey and Amrit. Guru Sahib Ji never said elaichi, never said elaichi through falling through thing. Elaichi is very completely different way when it comes. and never said lockets
Or candies.
or candies. No, no. So let's stick to the original. Let's stick to what Guru Sahib Ji has said so that the future generations also know what to expect, what actually is true.
Yeah,
That-
and to your point, this is happening a lot because even during any satsangs, people will see, random faces appear. Om, Trishul, ye darshan, wo darshan, and more power to them. That's for their eyes. मुझे तो बहुत कम ये सब नजर आता है, खुशबू भी बहुत कम आती है, सपने भी बहुत कम आते हैं. And it is what it is. And I know there are people जिनको हर दूसरे दिन गुरु साहब सपने में आते हैं. So
They are lucky. ठीक है.
no, I still feel lucky.
Whatever Guru Sahib Ji is telling them.
हमें दर्शन दे दिए, and I will hold on to that. That's it. Because I guess that's what our soul needed. And that's what we got. So why compare? And the one thing I've learned, Auntie, that I reframe. I am far from perfect, but I reframe from even commenting on somebody else's sort of visualization or interpretation. कि मुंह तब खोलो when asked, अगर नहीं तो हाथ जोड़ो, चुप रहो, गुरुजी जाने, वो जाने. That's it.
Oh yes, 100%.
So,
The tough side of Guruji is not what people have really seen. So it is Sangat has really seen. So I mean that is for them to experience and him to experience, make them experience. There's no point. I mean, there's no point guiding anybody. Guiding अगर देना है तो गुरुजी खुद ही दे देंगे ना.
right. Absolutely.
Why take?
But again, people feel that अगर आप नहीं बताओगे सही तरीका, and when I say aap, I mean anybody who's experienced it firsthand.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason. It's not that Guruji did not know the rest of the world existed, right? Guruji knew everybody in all continents, all parts possible. But there was a reason why he called certain people at a certain stage, certain time, for a certain duration. He knows best. And it's not that, he'd forgotten about the rest of the people. And a lot of people start off actually by complaining कि I wish हमें पहले पता होता, या हमें क्यों नहीं बुलाया, या हम क्यों नहीं मिले, oh, we were right there. All the time you get to hear, oh my God, he was in GK, I was in GK too.
Yeah.
So,
like I said last time, जब Guru Sahib ने बुलाना होता है.
yeah.
Even my brother and sister, when Sahib wanted to. So that's up to Sahib whenever he wants to go on. There's nothing one can really do or say much about. The thing about guiding people is that even in the Sangha that has met him, there are different guidance for each one. So it confuses everybody as to which guidance to take.
Yeah. That is true.
Okay, so somebody will say, Guruji used to never have any format of prayer, and we were told that there is no sort of process of praying. And yet they are a process of praying.
Yeah, everything is a ritual, right?
Everything is. If the sun goes up and the sun goes down, you poo at a certain time, you wake up at a certain time. These are all processes. The tides will work at a certain time, so there will be processes to this also, because it's a function of the body. So it is something that will happen. Then there are two different teachings. Somebody who Guru Sahib Ji is given the khulke, then path karne di jurut nahi. So some Sangat who will hear that, or say, okay, path karne di koi jurut nahi hai. Sit for satsang, sit for meditation, whatever. Do that. And somebody who will come to me and I'll say, okay, buddy, it's not like this. You will find processes. And they look at me, Sadhguru used to say this. Says, Sadbachan. So you can't have again, it is whoever Guruji opens to who will reach whoever for guidance.
Right. I agree. And there's definitely, I think, growth and a shift in perspective that you start to experience based on what he puts you through. It's like putting somebody through the ringer.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that just helps you grow. And I pray and I hope in the right direction.
Now that
So,
is definitely up to Guruji to pull us in the right direction. Once we give ourselves to him, he does do that. You know, initially being a Sadhani, I was doing different prayers. And Guru Sahib Ji told me, okay, don't need to pray any, just sit down for meditation.
yeah.
He gave me cool. And after that, slowly, Sahib verbally taught me different things. So it led my body and my mind in a certain way, certain processes my body is used to doing. Or, you know, and that is with everybody. Everybody will be guided because everybody is important. Everybody will find their own guidance, own kitsch, own adjustment, and own point. You know, you will go to a bookshop and say, and you'll have this attraction towards a book. And you'll go, okay, this is not my type of book, but I'll pick it up because I'm really attracted to it. And there are books that I've just kept in my shelf and opened literally 10 years later, and they made sense. It was absolutely ready 10 years later for those books.
How do you respond to this general overarching prevalent sentiment, especially in the Kali Yuga, because that's the only Yuga we know? When people say, why does life have to be so hard?
My dear, I would completely agree with them. Why does life have to be hard? You know, तुम सतयुग से शुरू कर रहे हो क्लास, फेल हो के कलयुग में पहुंच रहे हो, तो फिर कलयुग में जूते ही पड़ेंगे ना तुमको सिखाने के लिए। तो वो जूते पड़ेंगे कलयुग में, तो पास हो जाओ बच्चे, अब तो अपना काम करके जाओ। सतयुग में पास हो गए होते ना पढ़ाई कर करके, अपने गुरु को सुन के, सब कुछ करके, वी वुड नॉट हैव टू गो थ्रू ऑल द युग्स एंड रीच हियर। और कलयुग में आके अब पता चल रहा है जी, वो जो हनुमान जी के पत्थर हैं वो सच्ची एक्चुअल है, वो स्टोरी नहीं है। That actually these things existed, that actually these things are there, these are not stories. How man has manipulated so much information over the years, okay, truth is no longer truth. So yes, we are the worst of the class. So we are being led literally by our ears, which is very painful, to do what we are supposed to do, what we have promised the divine. And Guru Sahib Ji makes very sure that we all are doing it so that we get out of this class. Now, why do we have two religions? Why do we know about the Sharaite culture? Why do we know about the Sri Guru Granth Sahib? It's because Guru Sahib Ji said, and this I'm talking like 26, 25, 26 years ago, Guru Sahib Ji ने बताया कि जो ये युग है वो शिव जी का युग है, जो अगला युग है वो श्री गुरु गोविंद सिंह जी श्री गुरु नानक देव जी का युग है, ठीक है? And that's a soul, and that is why we have to listen to Gurbani, Shabad Gurbani, so that it's not about the words, but it's about the music and the frequency that gets released, which imbibes in our soul, and we carry it forward so that when we come back, क्योंकि हम सारों को इस युग में तो मुक्ति नहीं मिलने वाली ना, we'll have to come again, so that our souls can vibrate with the frequency and start on a higher level. I had asked him once, Guruji, we are like this, Shiva, Guru Nanak Dev Ji. He said, no, you are like this. I said, no, there are two boats. ऐसे तो two boats ऐसे करेंगे तो हम गिर जाएंगे। इनमें से एक होना चाहिए ना religion. That is what we've always learned. Follow one. And Guru Sahib Ji said, no. इस युग में तुसी अगर मुक्ति पालोगे, it is because of Shiv Ji. अगले युग में if you will get mukti, it is because of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Okay, so Sahib has prepared our souls, is preparing all our souls, is preparing all his babies to move forward so that death is inevitable. And that we go ahead in the next janam, in the next life, And like I said, I've seen 5 lives of mine. Okay, so पता नहीं हम सारों ने कितनी lives करी है एक ही चीज सीखने के लिए, एक ही चीज अपना नेचर में से निकालने के लिए या डालने के लिए.
बड़ा ही कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है यार.
Yeah, he said it's complicated. So that it's better you go. See, every all God through me and all God in me. तो ऐना ही रखो, simple रखो अपना हिसाब किताब. Because you do not know how to please the gods. Guruji said, Hanumanji and Mata Rani. Okay, both are alive on earth, and Guru Sahib ji said that जो हनुमान जी है उनको लेडीज को ज्यादा पूजा नहीं करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि for him beyond his mother हनुमान जी को there is nobody. So even if a lady does do Hanuman ji ki puja, it should be as his mother, because that is the reverence Hanuman ji accepts. And like Kalima Sahib ji said, na haso, na bolo, na girgirao. You have to be dead serious in her mandir. And like even for a second that you are there, make the time period in her mandir extremely short. So even if you are there, there is no reason for that split second of your thought going somewhere that she might get ticked off. He says, can you do all these things? I said, no. So he says, mere through karo. Okay? In me all and me in all. If you do that, I am taking your prayer. Where Guru to kam kiya hunda hai. He takes all your prayers, processes it, makes it all right, and gives it to the divine, who has who has to accept it. And so you get blessed with whatever you want. Like even Ganesh ji, I used to think Ganesh ji, when I used to go to some Guruji told me to do some puja, so I used to go to the mandir next to my house, and friends calling Ganesh ji was a little baby, Ganesh ji, little baby. So in my heart, it was this cute little baby. Of course, I hadn't read the Shiv Puran at that time. And one day, where Guruji's Samadhi is, Guruji was taking a walk. Gol, 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 gol. How he would bless his own Samadhi place. He used to go gol, gol, gol. हम भी नंगे पैर जून का महीना रात को 3 बजे घूम रहे हम सारे सैटी, आगे गुरुजी, पीछे मैं, पीछे सैटी, गोल 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 उस गार्डन में. And Guruji suddenly just turned around and said, गणेश जी बच्चा नहीं है, बंदा है, 2 बीवियां ने, बच्चे ने. उसने बहुत, he is a very क्या कहते हैं, educated and very, what's the word, knowledgeable person. Yes, he's very knowledgeable, that you will never think of him as a child. I knew Guruji knew everything, but still it will always shock me how he's got to know what's inside in my heart. So the next day Guruji said, तेरे घर में जिन्ने गणेश जी दी चीज़ें निकालो. And I said to Guruji, उनका क्या करूं? He says, एक गणेश जी दी मूर्ति किधरे नहीं होनी चाहिए, सिर्फ मंदिर में होनी चाहिए, जिथे इन्हां दी पूजा होती है. Otherwise it is bare. I said, but जो हमारे पास वेडिंग कार्ड्स आते हैं गुरुजी, उस पे सारे तो गणेश जी, ठीक है, कार्ड्स, वेडिंग कार्ड्स, statues. We had so many things that used to come to our house. And Ganesh ji सारे परवाह कर दो. Then one day a friend of ours came and he was sitting and just fiddling around. And छोटा सा ललित का गणेश जी था. He says, oh, this is lovely Ganesh ji. And both of us went like, you take it. We don't want, you take it. नहीं चाहिए. So, there are systems with each God that we do not understand. And so it is better we keep our lives simple, because karma is very complicated.
It is.
And trust in Sai so that he leads us to the path and we don't get into the Bhambarbusa false sangat.
Yeah, I think you're spot on.
Yes, since we
love and grace and forgiveness and realization. That's what I, मैं जब भी प्रे करती हूँ ना आंटी, मैं सिर्फ यही मांगती हूँ कि I know if I look back upon my past and certain things that I did, certain things that I was proud of, certain things that I was not very proud of, and I just seek forgiveness, forgiveness for self and forgiveness for the other people who were in my path. Um, and with this little hope that somewhere down the line, don't know in which yog, which era, which century, I don't know, that there will be a chance for us to reunite with that divine light, our Guru Sahib. That's all.
Aarti, I know that there are people even now, Sangat even now, who meet Guru Sahib. I know that I have met Guru Sahib after Guru Sahib has changed his chola. But he numbs your head so you don't realize. So don't think of another lifetime. Think of now. So that he blesses us, so that he makes us or gives us the ability to reach that caliber, perhaps. I don't know what word to use. That he is blessed, he will come and, or he will let us see him even now with these eyes. And that would be a different chapter with Chola, without Chola, a new chapter for the Sangat, a divine chapter.
Absolutely. I think our view, the way we not just see ourselves, but the way we see others, it shifts. And that shifts when you actually get those, कहते हैं ना, नूरानी, वो कृपा वाली, दया वाली, धर्म वाली, whatever words you want to use. जब वैसी सोच आपके हृदय में, आपके जहन में, दिल दिमाग जो मर्जी आप बोलो, पैदा होती है, that is a gift from him.
That is truly a gift.
And that's what I think I seek, and I want to pray on behalf of everybody that गुरु जी ये कृपा बख्शना, अपने टाइम पे बख्शना, अपने तरीके से बख्शना, पर हमारा भांडा तैयार कर लेना पहले.
That is true.
Any other auntie parting words of wisdom?
My daughter behind says, you just said mango, mat mano, but both of you have mangoed.
पर हमने अच्छी चीज मांगी है.
I was going to say, asking for the divine, I would not, I pray Guruji accepts it. We are not asking for gold and silver, and we're not asking for materialistic things, but we are asking for blessings, not only for us, but for everybody. Like Guruji used to always say, Sarvada Bhala. And so we are asking for his whole Sangat, all his children, to be blessed by him. And that definitely, एक दफा गुरुजी कहते हैं ना, एक सत्संग सुनाया था गुरुजी, and I don't completely remember it. तो कहते ने, and this is one of the Sakis in Sikhism, and right now I know I'm going to go wrong with names, Maafi. So I'm not going to take names. So one of the Guru Sahibs was sitting on a gaddi and in meditation. And there was somebody who'd sold lots of land to everybody, saying, Ke zameen mein pani, zameen mein pani, zameen mein pani. And people would go digging the zameen and no pani would come. And so Sahib's, Guruji's Sevadar got very upset that, there is no water wherever this person has said. And we are just going to kill this guy, cut him up, whatever. You're just going to kill him. And then they reach Guru Sahib, and Guru Sahib wakes up, and Guru Sahib says, why are you all so upset? And the person says, Ki Guru Sahib ji, this person promised us water, but there is no water in any of the lands, and now we don't know what to do with them, and we are now at your mercy. Says, but so this person says, but Guru Sahib ji, you had said there is water in all the lands. So I told them there is water on all the lands. And Guru Sahib ji says, but you are my Bhagat. And because you have said it, I now have to bless all these lands with water. Same way, we are praying to Guruji. Sarbat Bhala.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Auntie. This has been truly enriching for the soul. And Guruji bless you immensely. May you continue to spread his love and light. And Guruji willing, in another session or forum, we would love to hear more and more and more from you, but tahe dil se shukrana.
Tahe dil se Guruji ka shukrana that Guruji has such lovely children, like all three of you, and who have joined together to do this divine talk and spread his word. And I'm sure all the guests that will come on your session will impart such beautiful knowledge that they have hidden inside them, because you have the ability to take it out of them, And I look forward to hearing all the sessions. And Shilpa and Ekta, thank you so much. Aarti, all three of you, Guru Sahib ji bless everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
Jai Guruji, Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Hi Sahai. Shukrana.
Shukrana, Jai Guruji.